Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have Matthew's E36 M3 here. If you don't know who Matt is, he's the guy who's behind the camera and does all the editing, so you can thank him for all the wonderful videos that we produce. So me and Matt have been over to Supersprint in Italy a number of times. For example, when we took the F90 over there and we developed the exhaust on there. If you haven't seen that video, we'll put a link up so you can check it out. So over dinner one evening, Matt mentioned that he had an E36 M3 and the guys at Supersprint had recently developed some right-hand drive manifolds for this car. So they generously offered to donate him some so he could test them out on the car and we could deliver some power figures to them. When we were looking at fitting the manifolds, I realized that the exhaust was quite old, and as a thank you to Matt for all his hard work, I generously donated him the rest of the exhaust system. So he now has opportunity to fit the right-hand drive manifolds and the full Supersprint exhaust to the car. And because no one's done this before in a right-hand drive car, we're really curious to see the results. So what we're going to do is baseline the car, see how much power it's making, then fit the manifolds and the Supersprint exhaust, check the power difference it's made, and I'll take the car out for a quick drive and give you my impressions. So we've had Matt's car on the dyno to get a baseline. Aston is now halfway through the job, so all the old exhaust system is off and the stock manifolds are also off, so we can take a quick look. So looking at the stock manifolds, the first time I've actually seen them off the car. They've got interesting flanges here. They look like they're cast, but each one's got a separate port, which looks like it could be for measuring EGT, but they were blanked off on the car. The stock ones are hydroformed, so they're actually very smooth. There's no welds throughout the whole primary section. It's only when it meets the collector. We've measured both of them, and the Supersprint ones are around 10% larger in diameter, and you can see they've taken a slightly different route where the stock ones curve around more, so the gases will have more distance to travel and not a smooth journey through the exhaust manifold. The collectors are also very different. So the collectors in the stock one are quite flat, and in Supersprint one they've formed them a little bit more, so that should help with exhaust gas scavenging. So overall, The Supersprint ones do look like they will make power, but we won't know until we get them on the car and dyno test it again. Supersprint did make these blind, so they didn't actually have the card to develop them on. Normally they would do that and have it on the dyno, but they had difficulty sourcing a right-hand drive E36, and at the time Matt didn't have his car, so we're basically testing them for the first time. So coming over here, we can look at the exhaust. Matt's car had an unknown rear exhaust on the car and some sports cats. The exhaust has no markings on it, so we don't know what it is. It's looking quite rusty and it had a few cracks, as did the manifold, so it was time for him to change them up. So we've gone for a Supersprint Sport rear box. So as you can see, it's quite well silenced, and then the normal unresonated X-Pipe. And the reason for that is that doing the manifolds and doing the full exhaust, we don't want it to be too loud and have drone, because that will take away from his enjoyment in driving it. So we're hoping that this is going to give him a bit more power and a nice sporty tone. So let's get this stuff back on the car, then we'll dyno it and see what the results are. So with the manifold and the exhaust fitted, let's go take the car for a drive and see what it sounds like and talk about the results that we've got. So this video is not a driving review on the E36 M3. If you guys want me to do that, I can do. I haven't driven one properly for a long time. So this car has the Supersprint right hand drive manifolds, a decat center section, and the street rear exhaust. So Matt didn't want to go too loud with the sound. He wanted a nice tone, and I think this has achieved that. So it doesn't drone at all, and you can tell there's something different there, but it's not overly loud, because that does get tiresome after a while. So in terms of the results we've got, Matt's car had 330 horsepower, and that was achieved with an even chewy intake kit, which he basically customed off a Z4M kit, and also the Evolve ECU tune. With the manifolds and the rear exhaust, we saw 341 horsepower and around 15 extra foot-pound in the mid-range on torque. So that's 11 horsepower peak, but it held it for quite a long time at the top of the rev range, which is a good result. It's kind of what we're expecting based on what we see on manifolds on the S54 engine. Yeah, so it's just got enough sound that you can hear something's been changed, but it's not overbearing, which is kind of perfect in my eyes. So overall, 341 horsepower on the S50B32 engine is quite a good result. Just revs up a bit freer, gives you that little bit of extra power. And although it is a pricey modification, I guess if you've had the E36 M3 for a while and you just want to do something else just to get that little bit of extra power, it's a worthwhile mod. It's not going to be for everyone, but when you're tuning an NA car, it does start getting expensive the more power you want to extract out of it. So yeah, I think it's Supersprint have created an exhaust that's livable. It does provide you with a decent power gain for a normally aspirated car, and in this configuration it sounds sporty without being intrusive. So I'm going to head back to the shop now. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and if you do want to see more of this car, because I know we cover a lot of newer cars, if you want to see some more older car content, please let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. If you want to watch more of our videos, you can watch them over here. If you want to watch what YouTube suggests that you might like from our videos, you can watch them over here. As always, if you haven't already, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. If you've got any questions for us, please drop them in the comments below and we'll do our best to answer them for you.